Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby. It's about 9 o'clock at night right now and I just finished brewing a cup of tea and I noticed that the Goodreads Choice Awards for the year of 2025 just went up. And so I really wanted to film my reaction to them. I usually don't film at night, so the lighting might be a little bit strange in here, but I just had to know before I go to bed tonight, like I need to see what got nominated. I've done a reaction to the Goodreads Choice Awards every year for the past couple of years, but this year is extra exciting because I actually made a video on my Patreon last month where I was trying to predict some of the Goodreads Choice Awards nominations. So I predicted the categories of horror, thriller, romance, and fiction. So I think it'll be especially fun to see which books actually got nominated in those categories and how many ones I got right. I also just wanted to say a disclaimer at the start of this video because I realized the Goodreads Choice Awards are really just a popularity contest, and these are not necessarily like the best books that came out this year, but these are just the most popular books that came out this year. But regardless, I can't deny the fact that I do get pretty excited to see what gets nominated at the Goodreads Choice Awards. Alright, so as you can see here, we have our main page, and I'm trying not to look like I don't want to get spoiled. So let's go ahead and click on the fiction category first and see what's nominated. Oh my gosh. Okay, wow, I'm already seeing so many things. Okay, Cursed Daughters is one that got nominated. No way. So Cursed Daughters is one that I had anticipated would get nominated in this category, but I wasn't sure because this is such a new release book. So I wasn't positive if it was going to be popular enough to make it, but I'm so happy to see it here. I still need to read this one. And then we have, what is this? Heart the Lover by Lily King. I have no idea what that is. Okay, we have The Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong. This was another one that I predicted would be on here. Oh man, The Girls Who Grew Big. Okay, I did not predict that this one would be on here, but I should have guessed this. Especially because this is from Oprah's book club. Like, I should have known that this one would be here, and I've been seeing this book around everywhere this year. Okay, I don't know what The Correspondent is. I did not predict that one. Oh my god, The Three Lives of KK. Dude, why did I not predict that one? Like, that makes sense, but I thought they would have put this in the thriller category, maybe, so it's like a little bit weird to see it here. We have the new Jojo Moyes, which I did predict was going to be here, even though I have no interest in reading this book myself. These Summer Storms, this is definitely one that I thought was going to be here. Oh my gosh, okay, we have Dream Count, that's another one that I predicted. We have The Names. Okay, why didn't I think The Names was going to be here? I've been hearing about this book all year. I don't know why I didn't think to put it in this prediction, so that's cool to see it here. We have A Guardian and a Thief. I don't know what this book is either. Apparently this one says it's another Oprah's book club pick. Like, I'm just not following Oprah's book club, apparently. I've never seen any of these books. Okay, we have My Friends by Frederick Bachman, which I did predict that this would be here. Same with Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. I'm so glad to see this book here because this is probably going to be my vote for best fiction book so far. Okay, we have Ellen Hilderbrand at the Academy. This is another one. I should have seen this one coming. This has been everywhere this year. Ooh, we have What We Can Know. I don't know anything about this one, but I've been seeing this cover around. I don't know what People Like Us even is. Life, Death, and Giants. I don't know what any of these bottom ones are. 3 Days in June. I didn't know Ann Tyler had a new book this year. We have The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny. And then we have The River is Waiting. Wow, so I got a few of these right. I mean, if you look, I'll flash on the screen right now my prediction for things that I thought would get nominated. And to be fair, I do think a lot of these actually got nominated in the historical fiction category, especially like Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, I can imagine is in historical fiction. Same with Deep Cuts, maybe? I don't know. But I did get 7 of my predictions right for books that I thought would be in this category that ended up being here out of my 20 guesses. So I guess that's not the best percentage, but also like fiction was one of the categories that I was the least confident in anyway. So that's exciting. Let's move on to historical fiction. I have no doubt that Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid is going to be here, but let's see what else is here. Ooh, okay, we have Broken Country. Oh my god, I loved Broken Country. Like, that was such a good one, and I would probably actually vote for Broken Country because I wasn't the biggest fan of Atmosphere, but you know, here we go. We have Atmosphere here. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was fine. We have, what is this? The Amalfi Curse? I have no idea what some of these other books even are. I mean, historical fiction is not really my genre, so it doesn't surprise me that I'm not that familiar with some of these. Oh my god, we have The Bright Years. I loved The Bright Years. That one was so good. Okay, we do have Isola here. This is so interesting because this is one of the ones that I predicted would be in the fiction category, so I guess it makes sense. I didn't know it was historical fiction. Oh my god, no way! We have The Hounding in the historical fiction category. That is so interesting. I mean, I guess it makes sense, you know, because this book does take place in the 1800s, but like, I would have thought this would make it into the horror category, so that's crazy to see it here. Oh my gosh, and we have What Kind of Paradise? I've been seeing this book around everywhere, and I thought that they would put this in the mystery thriller category, so I'm kind of surprised to see it in the historical fiction. Okay, we have Homeseeking. I should have guessed that this one would be here. I've seen this book around everywhere this year. Same with Junie. I've been seeing this book around everywhere. So that's cool to see both of these. I'm not really familiar with any of these other ones, to be honest. Wow, I think out of everything here, I would definitely want to add What Kind of Paradise to my TBR, maybe as well as Homeseeking and Junie. I feel like these are the 3 books I'm most interested in reading out of everything that I haven't read yet. I also do own a copy of Isola, and I would be interested in reading that one. But yeah, out of everything that I've read here, Broken Country would definitely be my vote. And then The Bright Years, oh, I also really, really love The Bright Years, so I'm so happy to see it there. All right, the next category is gonna be the mystery thrillers, and I am so excited, but also like so terrified to see this category. So let's go ahead and do it. Like, how many Frida McFaddens are gonna get nominated? What do we think? Okay, sorry, that was dramatic. Okay, so Ashley Flowers, The Missing Half. This is one that I definitely expected to be here. I predicted this. We have The Tenant by Frida McFadden. This is one that I definitely expected to be here. We have the Reese Witherspoon and the Harlan Coben. Oh my god, I thought that I was like throwing a shot in the dark by putting this book on my predictions sheet. Like, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if this one was gonna be here. So like, holy shit, I can't believe it's here. Is this a book that I want to read? Like, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't know how I feel about Harlan Coben. Then we have We Are All Guilty Here by Karen Slaughter. I did predict this one. Okay, let's go down slowly. John Grisham, The Widow. Okay, this is one that I did not predict. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. Same with the Dan Brown. I should have seen this coming, but I did not put that one on my prediction list. Oh my god, we have The Intruder by Frida McFadden. Okay, that's one that I thought could get nominated, but then it makes me wonder then, is there gonna be 3 Frida McFaddens on this list? Okay, we have King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby, which is a book that I still have not yet read, but I'm going to be reading it very soon this month, and that one is one that I predicted would be on here. Okay, we have Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I knew this one would be here. Oh my gosh, we have The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose. I did not anticipate this one. You know, if I had known that Geneva Rose had a book come out this year, I definitely would have predicted it, but I'm not really following her stuff anymore, so like, I had no idea. I definitely saw this coming, that Forget Me Not would be here, even though I didn't care for this one myself. And then we have a new Richard Osman, which I didn't realize that this author had a new book coming out this year, or else I probably would have guessed that it would be here. Oh my god, okay. We have Famous Last Words. This is definitely one that I've predicted would be on here, but I haven't read it yet. We have You Killed Me First by John Mars. No way! Okay, that's really interesting. I have not yet read this one. We have The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. That's exciting. This is one that I actually really, really enjoyed, and I'm happy to see it here. Of course, we have the new Lisa Jewell, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of this one myself, but I did predict that it would be here. Oh my god, of course. Then we have another 3rd Frida McFadden book. No way. I can't believe that she has 3 books in the same year that are taking up this category. Like, that's crazy to me. We have Not Quite Dead Yet, which I did think would be here because this book is so popular, even though I wasn't a fan of it myself. Okay, we have Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. Yeah, I didn't realize that this book was coming out this year either, or I probably would have anticipated this. And then we have Heartwood. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy because I actually predicted Heartwood would be on the fiction list. I didn't realize that this book had any thriller elements because I actually don't know anything about Heartwood. So that's actually kind of crazy to see it here. So I was accurately able to guess 13 out of the 20 picks here. So like, I actually do feel pretty good about that. I didn't think that we were actually going to get all 3 Frida McFadden books on this list. Like, I should have guessed that that was going to happen. And like, wow, out of everything here, oh god, what would I even want to win? I mean, I still need to read King of Ashes, so like, that could be my vote once I do read that book. But as of this moment, I think The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark would have to be my pick out of everything, but I'm kind of embarrassed by the amount of books here that I just didn't really like. Like, I feel like this thriller category, at least in my opinion, it feels pretty weak. Like, I don't think there's a lot of good stuff in here. I mean, granted, I still do need to read the new Karen Slaughter. I haven't read that book yet, but I do own it, so like, that's one that I want to get to soon. I also still need to read King of Ashes very soon. I have absolutely no desire to read the Geneva Rose, or to be honest, any of these Frida McFaddens. I don't know. I mean, maybe you can let me know, out of these 3 Frida McFadden books that got nominated, is there one in particular that you think I could like, that you think I should read? Because after my experience with reading the Frida McFadden from last year's Goodreads Choice Awards, I was like, I do not want to read this author anymore. Like, I just really don't vibe with her stuff. But like, maybe if there's one of these books that you think I could enjoy, then like, I'll be open to potentially reading it. All right, the next category is romance. Oh my god, let's move on to romance. I'm so excited, but I'm also so scared. Okay, just looking at this first page, I'm like terrified because I don't even recognize some of the things here. So we have Taurus Season, which I did not think that this was gonna get nominated. I totally should have predicted this because this is from the same author as Butcher and Blackbird, so like of course this one gets nominated. We have Story of My Life by Lucy Score. What the heck is that? I've never seen that book cover in my life. Of course, I knew that Emily Henry was going to be here. Great Big Beautiful Life. This is one that I thought was just mediocre, but to be honest, like Emily Henry is always winning this category, so I'll be curious to see if this book will actually win romance this year because I know that this one wasn't as popular as her other books. We have Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. This is not an author that I'm super familiar with, but like I should have guessed that this would be here. I didn't predict it though. Okay, we have One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. Finally, one that I predicted and also absolutely loved. Like this would be my pick to win at this point. Like I love this one. We have Rewind It Back by Liz Tom Ford. This is another romance series that I don't know anything about. Oh wow, okay, so we have Scythe and Sparrow. This is by Brynn Weaver, and this is like the third book in the Butcher and Blackbird series. I did predict that this one was going to be on here, even though I'm not happy about it. Then we have The Gingerbread Bakery. You know, I somehow didn't predict this one. I feel like I should have. I definitely should have seen this coming. Oh my gosh. Okay, wow, we have The Favorites. Wow, this is so weird. You know, I really thought they would put The Favorites in either like fiction or maybe historical fiction. Like, I did not think it was going to go into the romance category. So that's a little bit bizarre. What is this? Spiral? Off the Ice? I've never seen this book before in my life, but it looks cute. Is that like an ice skating romance with a hockey player? Okay. Oh my gosh, we have Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. This is a book that I just started reading like last night, actually. I just downloaded the audiobook from my library and I started listening to it, but I think I did predict that this one was going to be here. And then, wow, we do have If It Makes You Happy. This is the, you know, fall romance that has taken over because everybody's comparing it to Gilmore Girls, and I can definitely see why. I thought this one was just okay. I gave it 3 stars. Okay, scrolling down, we have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, which is definitely something I knew was going to be here. We have Wild Side by Elsie Silver, which I did predict was going to be on here. We have Till Summer Do Us Part. What the heck is that? I've never seen this book cover before. Oh my god, I'm so out of touch. Okay, we have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I definitely knew this one was going to be here, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of this one by Abby Jimenez. And then we have King of Envy. I don't really know this author or this series very well. We have Problematic Summer Romance, which I definitely knew was going to be here. We have First Time Caller, which I also predicted was going to be here. And then Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan, which I also predicted, even though I have not yet read this one. So, wow. So I was able to predict 9 out of the 20 books in this category, which is not great. It's not my best work. I'm actually really shocked that author Lila Sage, she's the one that does like the cowboy romance series. That book Wild and Wrangled was not nominated. So like that is pretty surprising to me. Also, Where is Left of Forever by Tara DeWitt? Like, how dare you, Goodreads? That is one of the best romance books of this year. I'm also kind of surprised that the book Caught Up is not on this list. That's like the sequel to Lights Out. Even though I was not the biggest fan of that one myself, I definitely thought it was going to be nominated. I also want to point out once again that there is a real severe lack of queer romances on this list. Like, where are the queer romances? Is there even one? I don't think there's even a single one on this entire list, unless I'm mistaken, because like I'm not that familiar with every single one of these books, but like I don't think there's any queer romances here. Like, how is that even possible? I would have loved to see Crash Test on this list for me personally, because that's one of my favorite queer romance books that I've read this year. But I know there's been a handful of queer romances that could have been nominated here. One other thing that I want to note is that there are 2 Ali Hazelwood books nominated in this category, but she did have 3 books come out this year because she had the book Mate that just came out. It like just came out at the end of October, so like maybe it's not popular enough to get nominated here, but that is so interesting. It's so wild to me though, because romance has been such a great genre for me this year, and I don't feel like this category really represents what's happening in the romance world right now, because I've been reading so many great romances this year, and a lot of these that I'm seeing here were some of my like least favorite things. Like the Emily Henry and the Abby Jimenez were so disappointing to me this year, and I didn't really vibe with Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Like, I think genuinely my favorite thing that I've read on this list has got to be One Golden Summer. Like, that would definitely be my vote. But I also haven't read a number of these books. Like, I still need to read Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. I'm currently reading Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. I've never heard of Spiral, but I would definitely be intrigued to read this one. Just based off the cover, it looks so cute. Oh my gosh, I just have so many thoughts and feelings about this romance category. We could be here all day, but instead, let's go ahead and look at the Romantasy category. So I am not the biggest Romantasy reader. I just don't read a lot of it, so I actually have no idea what could even be nominated in this category. Oh wow, look at that. I was just talking about how Mate didn't get nominated, but apparently it's nominated in the Romantasy category. That actually makes sense. That checks out. I don't know why I didn't think it was going to be here. We have Enchantra, which this one's actually the sequel to Phantasma, and that was a book that I actually did read, even though I haven't read this one yet. Okay, we have the Emily Wilde book. I should have anticipated this. Scrolling through this, I have no idea what any of these books are. I've never seen them in my life. Oh my gosh, except for Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. This is one that I actually do own, and I want to read this book soon, so maybe that will actually work out perfectly. Like, maybe I can just add it to like a Goodreads TBR kind of video. Okay, cool. We have A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I've definitely seen this one around, even though I don't know anything about it. We have Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. Man, Julie Soto is a romance author that I've loved her romances in the past, but I don't know if I have any interest in reading this one. Oh, wow. And then, of course, we have Onyx Storm, which is the third book in the Fourth Wing series. And then we have Alchemized. I've been seeing these books everywhere. And Silver Elite. I have no desire to read any of these books, but let me know what your thoughts are on this Romantasy category. I don't have too much input here because it's not a genre that I'm very familiar with. So let's move on to fantasy, which is going to be another genre that I'm not that familiar with. I would be surprised if I read any of the books in this category. Okay, so we have the new R.F. Kuang, which I definitely thought was going to be here. I think this is one of the most popular fantasy books of the entire year. Oh wow, so they put the Joe Hill book, King Sorrow, they put it in fantasy. Oh no, okay, that's so interesting. I wasn't sure if they were going to put this one in the horror category or if they were going to put it in fantasy, so like that's crazy to see it here. Okay, we do have the Incandescent here, which I have not yet read, but I do own this book. Okay, and then we have Watermoon. Hey, look at that. I actually have read at least one of the books in the fantasy category. I gave this one 3 stars, though I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Oh my god, no way. They put The Devils by Joe Abercrombie into the fantasy category. Okay, this was one of my predictions for the horror category, so like that is really interesting to see it here. I don't know anything about this. I think this is actually the sequel to The Will of the Many, so I kind of expected to see that here. Oh my god, they put Barrier Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab in the fantasy category. Okay, that makes sense. I've read this one too. So I've read 2 of them. Okay, then we have The Sirens. I have not yet read The Sirens, but this one is on my TBR. Like, this is one that I could be convinced to read. So that's cool. I mean, hey, at least I've read 2 books in the fantasy category. I don't know if I have a lot of interest in anything else that's on this list, but good to know that I'm a little bit more well-versed than I thought. All right, next up is science fiction. I've been getting really into science fiction this year especially, so I am really excited and really curious to see what got nominated. Atomic Noodle? Wait, what? I thought this book was coming out next year. Like, I didn't realize this book already came out this year. So that's exciting. Oh my god, I really want to read this one. And then The Dream Hotel. This is one that I read and I really enjoyed. I gave this one 4 stars. I'm so happy to see it here. I don't know what this is. Shroud? Never heard of it. And then we have Local Heavens. This is one that I just recently added to my TBR because I think it sounds so fascinating. So that's really cool to see it here. I love this cover. And then we have The Once and Future Me. Yes, I was so hoping this book would make it on here. This is a sci-fi book that I do have on my TBR and I really want to read this one soon. Okay, we have These Memories Do Not Belong to Us. Okay, I have no idea what that is, but that looks so beautiful. Like, I really love the cover. I'm already drawn to it. And then we have The Compound. Wow. Oh my god, I literally predicted. I said, oh my god, they're going to put this in the sci-fi category, but I was like doubting myself. I was like, maybe they're going to put it in fiction. I knew that The Compound was going to be nominated. I just didn't know which genre it was going to be in. So very cool to see it here. What is this one? I think we've been here before. Okay, I have no idea what that is. I've never seen that book cover in my life, but I am so intrigued. The cover is so cute, and just that description saying, with the end of the world predicted, reality bends in an unexpectedly quirky and heartwarming novel about human connection. Okay, I might need to read that. I might need to read it. Add it to the TBR. Oh my gosh, okay, The Poppy Fields. This is definitely one that I thought was going to be here. I really enjoyed The Poppy Fields. I loved it. I love Nikki Erlich. She can do no wrong. Dissolution. This is one that I definitely expected to be here. We have The Merge. The Merge is like definitely one of my favorite books that I've read this year. It's so freaking good. I'm so thrilled to see it here. Oh my god, then we have When the Moon Hits Your Eye. This is one that I've seen this cover before, but I know nothing about it. Okay, scrolling down, we have The Shattering Piece. I don't know what that is. We have The Book of the Lost Hours. Oh my god, this is one that I keep seeing everywhere, but I haven't read it yet. It says for fans of the Ministry of Time in the Midnight Library? Wait, what? Do I need to read this? And then, what is this? I don't know. I don't know what this is. What is this? Luminous? I have no idea. Oh my god. Okay, so Death of the Author is a book that I still have on my TBR and I have not yet read it, so this is actually a great push for me to read this book. I have not heard of Salt Crop. I'm not sure if I know what that one is, But then, wow, Of Monsters and Mainframes. This is one that I keep seeing this cover everywhere, so that's cool to see it here. And The Memory Collectors. This is one that I have read, and I actually really enjoyed it. So that's so freaking sick and so cool. And I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I did predict 6 books in the sci-fi category because since I'm not that well-versed in sci-fi, I only felt comfortable guessing 6, and I did correctly guess that all 6 of these books were gonna make it onto the list. So like, hey, that's exciting, go me, I know my shit. I think out of everything that I've read from this list, I would definitely vote for The Merge, and I would strongly encourage you to pick up The Merge. It is so freaking good. I don't even know if it's fully out yet. I think it comes out in the month of November, but The Merge was great. I love The Poppy Fields as well, and I desperately need to read The Once and Future Me. I need to read that immediately. I need to read that yesterday. I also really want to read Local Heavens. I think that sounds cool. I am so intrigued by this one. I think we've been here before. I think I need to read that too. And then same with The Book of Lost Hours. I feel like that's one that I need to read. I need to read Death of the Author. There are so many things here that I'm dying to read, and that feels great. Okay, moving on to the horror category. This is the category that I'm the most excited about, but I'm also the most nervous about because this is the one that I am the most confident in my predictions. Like if I don't get at least 15 out of the 20, I'm gonna be shocked. So, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh my god, okay, Chuck Tingle, Lucky Day. I definitely expected this to be here, so first one's right. The New Grady Hendrix, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, definitely guessed that this was going to be here. Immaculate Conception. Oh my god, no, I didn't predict Immaculate Conception. I thought they were going to put this in the sci-fi for some reason. Oh my gosh, and then We Love You Bunny by Mona Awad. No way! Okay, I really didn't think this one was going to make it into the horror category, so I'm a little bit shocked by that. Wow, The Haunting of Payne's Hollow. Oh! Okay, I'm doing terribly so far. I did not guess. I did not think that this book was going to make it into the Goodreads Choice Awards. But you know, I should have guessed that this one would be here because this one was actually recently a Book of the Month pick. And I feel like if a book is a Book of the Month pick, it means it's like a little bit more popular and it has more likely of a chance to make it onto this list. So like, oh, I'm so stupid. But then I did guess that The Buffalo Hunter Hunter and The Possession of Alba Diaz and What Hunger. Yes, I guessed all 3 of those. Okay, so far I've gotten 3 wrong and I feel like that's crazy. Anyway, let's go down to the next line. No way, they nominated Coffin Moon. Oh my god, I really didn't think they were gonna nominate Coffin Moon. I should have guessed that. I should have just went with my gut. Okay, listen, I was gonna guess Coffin Moon, but I was like, no, it's not popular enough, or like there's other stuff that's gonna be nominated, and so I didn't predict this one, but I wanted it to be on here. So that makes me so happy. And then I did guess Blood on Her Tongue, The Lamb, and Bat Eater. All 3 of those were locked in for me, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. But like, wow, Coffin Moon, what a lovely surprise. I loved Coffin Moon. Oh my god, if you're looking for like a fun vampire fiction book, that is the one. Okay, scrolling down. No way. No fucking way, dude. They put Breathe In, Bleed Out on this list. Oh my god. This is a book that I desperately wanted to be on this list, but I didn't put it in my predictions because I didn't think it was gonna happen. Oh my god, no way. Now I feel stupid. I should have just went with my gut. I should have put Coffin Moon and Breathe In, Bleed Out on this list because I loved both of those books. They were both 4 stars for me. Oh my god, I'm so happy to see them here. Okay, but I did guess Play Nice by Rachel Harrison, I guessed Hungerstone, and I did guess The Bewitching. So at least I got 3 out of the 4 on this line. Okay, what's last? So we do have The Darcy Coates, which, god damn it, I really considered this one, but I eliminated it because I thought it wasn't popular enough. So I'm so mad at myself because I did initially think this one could be on here, but I didn't predict it. Same with You Aren't Meant to Be Human. Oh my god. I literally had this one on my board and then I was like, nah, probably not. And I deleted it. Like, you stupid. And then When the Wolf Comes Home, of course, I knew this book was going to be here. I had a gut feeling. I needed it. And then the Stephen King Never Flinch. This was another one that I did correctly guess was going to be on here. So holy shit. Let me process. Okay, so technically speaking, I've correctly guessed 13 out of the 20 picks. And most of those, like, I'm so mad at myself because I would have put them on this list, but I was feeling not confident in myself and I deleted them. Some initial first things that I'm noticing on this list is that some books that are not nominated that I'm actually really surprised by include Eat the Ones You Love. I thought would be a book that's nominated here. Also, The Starving Saints, I thought for sure was going to be on this list. Same with Girl Dinner. I thought Girl Dinner would be popular enough to make it on here. What else? Oh my gosh, the new T. Kingfisher. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of that book series. I don't know anything about it, but I thought for sure it was going to make the list because T. Kingfisher always makes the list. Same with, oh my god, Staircase in the Woods by Chuck Wendig. I thought for sure that would be here. Same with Victorian Psycho. Where's that? Same with The Unworthy. I thought for sure that would be on the list. So yeah, I am a little bit surprised by this horror fiction list, but I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all because I've loved so many of these books. I mean, we have so many 5-star books for me on this list. I mean, What Hunger was a 5-star book for me. Bat Eater, 5-star book for me. When the Wolf Comes Home, 5-star book for me. I also really loved Coffin Moon. I loved Breathe In, Bleed Out. I loved Play Nice. I loved You Weren't Meant to Be Human. Oh my god, there are just so many good ones on this list, so I cannot be mad, but I'm a little bit mad at myself for not guessing these more accurately, but like, I can't be that mad because this is such a good list. I also forgot to mention when we were talking about the mystery thriller category that I am really annoyed that my favorite thriller that I've read this year, Julie Chan is Dead, is not even eligible to be nominated because the ratings are too low. Because if you didn't know, Goodreads, it requires you to have a 3.5 average rating or higher in order to even be nominated, which I think is such a silly rule because Julie Chan is Dead is my favorite thriller that I've read this year and it doesn't meet the requirements. And then also same with like the Riley Sager, like the reason the new Riley Sager isn't on here is because the rating is too low. And I think that's so disappointing. I also do have so many of these horror books that are still on my TBR. I mean, this month I will be reading We Love You Bunny very soon for a video that I'm working on. I still need to read Buffalo Hunter Hunter, I still need to read The Possession of Alba Diaz, and then I still need to read The Bewitching, even though I don't know if I want to. Like, I don't know if that's one that's on my TBR. Same with the Darcy Coates, I have no idea if that's one that I really want to read. And the Stephen King, I'm not sure about either. But like, wow, the way that I've almost read every single thing in this category. Wow, I've read 14 out of the 20 books here, so like, that's crazy. All right, moving on to debut novel. I really love this category. I don't know what I want to see here. I don't even know which debuts I'm like the most excited about this year, so let's take a look. Okay, we have The Eights. I have no idea what that is. We have Aftertaste. Oh, that's really interesting. I actually didn't know that Aftertaste was a debut, so like, that's cool. We have The Names. Dude, The Names is a book that I actually need to add to my TBR because like, I keep seeing it everywhere and I've had so many people tell me that they think I'm gonna love The Names, so like, I really need to read this one soon. We have The Lilac People, even though I have no idea what that is. Oh, cool, we have Finding Grace. This is actually one that I do own and I have it on my TBR and like, I'm interested in reading this one, so that's cool. We have Woodworking by Emily St. James. I don't know what this is, but the cover intrigues me. Oh my god, we have The Bright Years. The Bright Years is definitely one of my favorites, and so far this would be my vote. We have A Family Matter. Oh my god, this is a book that I still need to read. I had the audiobook checked out for my library for this one, and I didn't get to it in time, so I feel so bad about it, but I definitely want to read this one soon. Okay, we have Loved One. I don't know what this one is. We have Homeseeking. Okay, and we have Junie, which both of these books were in the historical fiction, so that's cool to see them here. We have Alchemized. I had no idea that this one is a debut as well. Wow. And this one has such high average ratings. Like, that's crazy. Okay, what else? What else? Oh my god, The Merge! The Merge! Okay, yeah. Okay, so The Merge would definitely be getting my vote in this category. I'm telling you, please go read The Merge. It is so good. I actually am so excited to see The Merge getting nominated in 2 different categories because now I feel like it's really gonna push people to go and pick up this book, and that makes my heart so happy. So this is a really great category. I'm really happy to see all these here. I do have a few books on this list that I still really need to read. I mean, mostly The Names is one that I definitely want to read soon. Oh man, what a great list. Okay, let's look at audiobook. I think it's very strange to me that they even have an audiobook category. I mean, it's cool, but it's also like, is this really necessary? Because are these audiobooks like doing anything exceptional or like different from the rest? I don't know. So let's see. So we have Atmosphere nominated here. That's interesting. We have Pride and Prejudice, which is an Audible original. We have We Are All Guilty here. Ooh. So is this audiobook like truly something exceptional? Because maybe I'll need to wait to get the audiobook for this one so I can listen to it. We have Frederick Bachman, My Friends. This is a book that I actually read physically, so I didn't listen to this one on audio. We have, let's see. Okay, yeah, the new Emily Henry. Like, this was like nothing special necessarily on audio. And then we have, okay, S.A. Cosby, King of Ashes, Good to Know. I will definitely be trying to listen to this one on audio. We have Broken Country, which I loved. I did enjoy the audiobook, but again, I don't think the audiobook was anything like extra special. So that's an interesting category. Next up, we have Young Adult Fantasy and Sci-Fi. Again, I'm not really expecting to know anything on this list because I'm not reading a lot of young adult these days, but let's look anyway. Oh my gosh, duh, Hazelthorne is nominated. Okay. I'm not mad about that, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Hazelthorne, sadly, and it's still like breaking my heart that that's what happened to me. But anyways, moving on. Oh wow, there's a new Tahara Mafi. That's cool. What is this? It's like part of the Shatter Me universe? What? That's crazy. I used to love Shatter Me like way back in the day. I've never seen any of these book covers in my life, so I have no opinions here. Oh my gosh, Our Infinite Fates. Ah, I love that one. That's so crazy that they put this in young adult. I didn't think, was this young adult? I don't remember. But I really love this one, and I think if you liked like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I think you could like this one as well. So like that's cool. Also, I should have guessed that the new Hunger Games book is gonna be here. Like if I had to guess, I think this book is probably gonna win this category just because it's so popular. All right, moving on to young adult fiction. Okay, so I haven't actually read anything that I'm seeing on this list, but I have been seeing these book covers around everywhere, and I just got a copy of You Found Oliver, so this is definitely one that I would like to read soon. I also do have Nobody in Particular. I have access to this audiobook, so like I would like to read this one. Falling Like Leaves is one that I tried to get into and I ended up DNFing it because it just felt a little bit too young for me, but this one was like a really cute, the idea of it is like a cute fall romance. It says Gilmore Girls meets Jenny Han. I also didn't know that Adam Silvera was still publishing books in this series. They both die at the end. I read that book so long ago. This one looks cute, Dating and Dragons. That's adorable. Oh, and E. Lockhart has a new book. Is this part of like the We Were Liars trilogy? It kind of looks like it would be. Oh my god, The Thrashers! No way! Okay, I have read The Thrashers. Wasn't a big fan of it, but I have read it. Oh, we have The Scammer by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is not one that I have read, but I do have the audiobook for this one. Same with the Tia Williams. I was kind of nervous to read a young adult book from Tia Williams because I really do like her adult romances, but I'm kind of nervous to read something young adult. Okay, I really like this cover, Needy Little Things. I think that's so cute. Oh my gosh, I've been seeing this romance around, Say a Little Prayer. It looks like a really cute, like, sapphic romance. And then this one, And They Were Roommates. That one looks cute too. All right, so that is all for the Goodreads Choice Awards nominations this year. All in all, I think the awards are pretty, like, decent. I don't know. I think I'm kind of upset about the romance category because I feel like romance has been so good this year and like that category just really doesn't reflect how good of a year this has been. And also, I wanted to talk about some books that I noticed that are missing from the thriller genre category because even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the book A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall, like how is this book not on the list? I feel like this book was so popular this year. And same with Count My Lies. I'm just now realizing that Count My Lies was not included on the list, and like that was one of my favorite thrillers that I've read this year, and I thought for sure it would be on here. And then same with Cross My Heart by Megan Collins. That was a thriller that I thought was really fun this year, and I can't believe it's not on the list. Like that should have definitely been on there. I'm kind of surprised that the Sherry Lupina is not on the list, even though I wasn't sure if it would be. And I personally really wanted to see Too Old for This by Samantha Downing make the list, and that one wasn't on there. I'm kind of surprised that the Ashley Winstead, This Book Will Bury Me, that one wasn't on there. Like that's kind of surprising to me. I also think just in general, like some other books that I thought might make the Goodreads Choice Awards that didn't include Sky Daddy. Like where the heck is Sky Daddy? I thought that book was so fun and so different. I also wasn't the biggest fan of the book We Could Be Rats, but I thought for sure that one was going to be nominated too. Same with Deep Cuts. Oh my god, where the heck is Deep Cuts? Like that's one of my favorite books that I've read this year, and like how dare you, Goodreads Choice Awards, not nominate it. I also couldn't help but notice that the new Ashley Poston Sounds Like Love did not get nominated in the romance category, as well as Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Stone. I mean, I personally was not the biggest fan of either one of these books, but I definitely thought that they were going to get nominated, so I think it's a little bit surprising to not see them there. And then also like Fan Service is one of my favorite romance books that I've read this year. I mean, I'm not that surprised that it didn't get nominated, but I'm also like deeply hurt. I'm also kind of surprised that the new Ruth Ware book didn't get nominated. I mean, maybe it's because that book is a sequel and like nobody really cares about The Woman in Cabin 10, maybe. I don't know. I thought for sure it would be in there. I am kind of mad that Frida McFadden has 3 books in the thriller category. Like, this is getting ridiculous. I do think that I'm going to try and build a TBR out of some of these books that have been nominated because I would like to read some of the most popular, you know, like Goodreads nominees of the year. So if there are any in particular that you would like to see me include in an upcoming reading vlog, then definitely let me know. Because I'm already thinking in my head, like there are so many books that just got nominated that are still in my TBR that I'm itching to read right now, even more than ever. So if there's any in particular that you would really like to see me read right away, like really soon, then definitely let me know. And let me know your thoughts in general on the Goodreads Choice Awards. What do you think? Are you happy with the nominations? Are you upset with the nominations? What books do you think deserve to be on the list, and what books do you think are missing from the list? I would love to know all of your thoughts down below, and thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye!